Welcome to Hops News, the trusted source in beer culture news. Here's your host, Jay Brew, with special guests, the Hoppy Mommy, Lucky, and Nash.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Hoppy Hour. And I'm all over the damn place tonight. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I turned my attention to these guys about 2 minutes ago, so I apologize. Coming off another Zoom call just prior to coming on that one. But I will tell you, we have a great episode lined up for you. Going to have Christopher back on with Bottle Share, talk a little bit more about what he's doing. I don't feel like we gave him enough due the last time he was on, so looking forward to getting him back on here in just a second and talking to us about Bottle Share and the amazing things that's going on down there, and talking about what they're doing for the beer industry. We'll also have we will have a bomber jacket giveaway as soon as I track one of those down. We are definitely going to drink some beer. I will tell you that we have some beer lined up, and we'll get to that. I'm actually coming off a Zoom call with pH Experiment, a very interesting organization. As you can see there, it says for sample use only. So had an interesting conversation with those guys, drinking some pretty good product from them. That was a hopped hard seltzer. And if you haven't had a hopped hard seltzer, you're kind of missing out. It was pretty tasty. So we'll give bomber jackets away. We'll talk about our Hops News family members. And don't forget, after the show this evening, we will have our after hours party with our family members on Zoom. And I will tell you, some of these get pretty long. I think Lucky the other night was on until after midnight with that group. So it'll be a good time for sure. And we'll send that link and post that link as soon as we get off of here for you guys. But let's go check in with who's first on the list. Speaking of Lucky, let's go check in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and see what Lucky's up to. Lucky, how are you this evening?
I'm doing good, man. I just found out yesterday that I have off tomorrow, so this is my first ever Friday Hoppy Hour, and I'm celebrating with a Hazy Rabbit. Yeah, Hazy Rabbit IPA out of Lakefront. I don't know that I've sent that to you guys, but it's very good. And yeah, I'm ready to get the weekend started.
Awesome. It's looks like a great product to start things out with. How's the weather up there? You look like you're in short sleeves again. Must be kind of warm.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's 80s right now. I don't know. I just took my dog out, but it's nice enough to wear a barbecue shirt and celebrate the 4th. So I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, I bet you are. You're ready for the weekend then. I like that. I like that spirit. You're starting the weekend on Thursday. That's awesome. Let's go check in with Mash out in Utah. I bet you he's warm out there. That guy, I would have never, Mash, or Idaho rather. Mash, I would have never guessed that Idaho was as warm as you say it is about daily in the chat in the 90s. I would have never guessed that. How's the weather out there in Idaho today?
What's up, fine people? It is indeed hot. It's the desert. I live in like the deserty part. So yes, potatoes grow. Yes, hops grow, but it's also wicked hot, wicked dry. Feels like when you open up the oven, that's the feeling you get. But, I'm drinking a little wicked New England hazy IPA, speaking of, from one of the really good breweries in Boise, Western Collective. But since it is 4th of July weekend, I have to kindly remember everybody that Massachusetts did invent America. So I'm repping it out of the Massachusetts glass today. So I am ready. I'm off for the next week and a half. The party starts now. How is everybody else doing?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Good to hear it's warm out there still for you. And definitely ready for the 4th of July. It seems to be the theme this Hoppy Hour is 4th of July. Speaking of Hoppy, Hoppy's in the mood down there for the 4th of July.
My glasses on.
Hoppy, how are things in Florida?
Things are sunny, then rainy, then sunny, then rainy. It is Florida summer here. Today's been a good day, though. All the breweries are releasing beers like crazy. So I did a 3 breweries and a bottle shop today and stocked up a bit. So right now I am drinking a double New England IPA from Tactical Brewing. Some sweet can art there. Wolves of Bellevue or something. They're a vet-owned brewery, so all their breweries are kind of in theme with that, or all their beer names are kind of in theme with that. And I'm drinking it out of my I can do this all day glass, because Captain America is the original true patriot.
That's awesome.
What about your earrings? I heard something about your earrings.
Oh, yeah, you heard about my earrings. Yes, I have my super sweet cap earrings on since I can't wear them to any parties this Saturday because there are no parties this Saturday.
Look, there is no party like a me party.
That's it.
The me party don't stop.
We'll come back to the 4 of us. We're having a party right here. I mean, what more could you want?
Here, you know?
What more could you want? Lucky, Brad said he can barely hear you, so he needs you to step it up a little bit if you haven't seen that in the
Say
chat.
it with your chest.
Yeah, I might just be quiet. I don't
Talk
know.
like you got a set, son.
He goes, I might just be quiet. I don't.
As he whispers, guys, I think I just might be quiet.
Let's go!
He was all excited 5 minutes ago for the weekend, and now it's like, guys, I'm just super quiet.
Yeah. It's like, what
I'm
happened to
excited
you?
about your background there, Mash.
That is pretty sweet background.
Yeah, Mash is, I will tell you, Mash adds more and more to that background on a weekly basis, and I'm loving it. He admitted his jealousy of Hoppy like the first couple of episodes, so he is not going to be outdone for too much longer.
One day, I figured the bare wall behind me was only going to last for so long, so I made it interchangeable for your pleasure and mine.
Awesome. Speaking of entertainable, we've got a great caller on. I hope he's still on hold here. Let's see if Chris is in the green room. Chris, are you there?
I am right here.
Awesome, man. Well, it's great to have you back on. And let's not forget to mention Bottle Share is our donation button tonight. That donation button, I believe, is live. If anybody can confirm that, I would appreciate it.
It is.
Chris, we had you on the show not too many episodes ago, but again, for those that are just joining us for the first time tonight, or those people that are out there that you helped bring to the episode this evening, tell us a little bit about your start in beer. What was your first beer you remember drinking?
Man, my very first beer I ever had was Bud Ice. And
Hell yeah.
I had a.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man,
I
that
was-
used to be one of my favorites.
Yeah. I was a young buck, and my uncle had decided it was time. So we went out on a family trip, this family camping trip up in North Carolina, out near Nebo, about an hour outside of Asheville.
Oh yeah, that's just
and
down
we
the
were
road
out there.
from here.
There you go. We have a family farm in Nebo, actually, and I'm going to be heading up there here pretty soon. So, Jay Brew, let's connect, brother.
Awesome, man. Hit me up. If you're going to be around, definitely hit me up and let's drink a beer somewhere.
I would love that. Absolutely. So back to the story. I was, he took me into, I don't even remember what it was, like a Safeway or something. He said, all right, pick out whatever you want here and I'm going to get it. We're going to go have some fun. All right, cool. So, the first thing that came to my eye, and it had like those golf divots, those dimples on the side of the glass, and I was like, I want those. I want that one. And he goes, are you sure? I said, absolutely. So next thing I know, I remember I said, this tastes absolutely horrific. This is horrible. Well, then I remember the last thing I remember was that it started tasting more like water. There was no
because it is.
That's a bad sign.
God,
it was so, and I tell you what, it was going down like water.
Yeah.
And then I went down like those Bud Ices. Probably within a couple of hours, I was done for the night. I remember the next morning was just hellacious. It was insane. Yeah. So that was my very first beer.
Yeah, that's a rough start, man. Most people usually start out with like Coors Light or PBR or something like that. But man, you went for the top shelf Bud Ice day one.
Bud Ice super.
So what are you looking for now? Like 14, 15%ers? Is that where you start the Sunday morning?
Wouldn't that be lovely? Yeah. Tell me about it. Well, throughout the COVID pandemic, I've had to put myself on a time limit. If it's before 12, I can't justify it unless it's a margarita. After 12, I'm good to go. So
awesome.
Cheers.
Yeah.
You need to tune into one of our 10 a.m. international happy hours because that's the best time to pop a 13% coffee imperial stout.
And I tell you.
And I do have to
as a matter of fact,
the Bud Ice is. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say with the Bud Ice, the penguin warned you. Remember, doobie doo. Beware of the penguin. So
beware of the penguin. I learned the hard way.
Yeah. So before we get too far into this conversation with Chris this evening, like us, share us, tag your buddy in the chat, and get some more viewers in here to hear Chris's story about how he got started with Bottle Share. So if you got a favorite beer group out there that you're in, go ahead and share us there. Invite some more people into the house, and I'll dig out a bomber jacket here while Chris is telling us the next part. So Chris, you started out with Bud Ice. Where was your hook into craft beer? What got you started into the craft beer scene?
Yeah, absolutely. Before I get into this part, I want to let you know I also have our director of marketing and business relations on the line with me, and I really want to kind of highlight some of the stuff that she has to say as well, because and I'll say it again later on, 5 years from now when I'm looking back at milestones where Bottle Share leveled up, she's definitely one of them. So we're truly grateful and thankful, and I'm excited to give her a couple of minutes of some airtime later on as well. But to get back into the craft beer thing, as a matter of fact, my first true passionate moment, the very first one with a craft beer, was actually a local a local brewery here in Atlanta, Georgia, Sweetwater. I'm sure you guys have heard of Sweetwater 420.
Yeah.
Sweetwater Blue was popular for a long time. Sweetwater IPA is just a giant, in my eyes. And so that was the very first craft beer that really pulled me in and gave me an appreciation for the art and the science behind mastering and creating these flavors with the same four ingredients,
Yeah, that's Sweetwater. I tell you that we featured them just a few episodes back with their 420 stash box. They make some great great beer. So you definitely jumped in head first and had a great introduction to craft beer. Those guys do some good stuff. And I tell you, most people don't realize it, but Georgia is extremely tough to be a beer manufacturer.
Big time.
Especially starting out like Sweetwater. That's pretty amazing that they've grown to the size that they are starting out in Georgia, because it is damn near impossible to make it as a brewery in Georgia.
It's, I mean, up until 2 years ago, we were still on the ticketing system, which means that patrons couldn't come into the brewery and just order up a pint and enjoy themselves, and sit around and chit chat. They actually had to purchase a quote unquote tour. And with the tour came a souvenir pint glass and 6 raffle tickets. And each raffle ticket you put in, you get a 6-ounce taster of the manufacturer's beer. And so you couldn't just go in and order a pint and, pay $5 and close out your tab. And that was completely illegal. And so for a company like Sweetwater to flourish, not just survive, but thrive for 20 plus years, just goes to show that it's 20 years of hard work, dedication, and making the right choices. Yeah,
and great beer. So here's the Bomber Jacket. This is our COVID-19 edition of Bomber, and I saved this one for a special occasion, and I can't think of a more special occasion than what Bottle Share is doing. So if you want to be entered into this random drawing, you have to donate to Bottle Share tonight through our Facebook page. So if you're watching us through,
awesome.
If you're watching us through Twitter, or if you're watching us on YouTube, you've got to jump over to Facebook. You got to hit that donate button and donate to Bottle Share tonight to be entered, because this is without a doubt probably the coolest Bomber Jacket we've had so far.
I'm jealous, man.
It is. Yeah, there goes Lucky. Lucky's firing up the phone. Well, yeah. So Lucky's firing up the phone. He's pounding that beer. He's so damn excited to get this one. I don't even think he set that one down.
Right, my bank account.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is the Bomber Jacket. It's the COVID-19 edition. So wear your mask. Definitely make sure you're wearing your mask out there. So, Christopher, tell us a little bit more about the guests that you have, and allow her to kind of share her start in the beer scene, because that's where we like to start things out here at Hops News.
Sweet, yeah. So this is Crystal. She goes by Tilly. That's what all of her close friends call her. She just recently started allowing me to call her Tilly. So, we're making strides here. No, but in all seriousness, Tilly and I met up and discussed nonprofit work. She's been in it for a while. I had a lot of ideas that I needed somebody like her to help me put them into action, and that's exactly what she's done so far. And it's just been a night and day difference in everything from branding to execution, to letting me go off and do my crazy stuff and coming back with a big mess, and she cleans it up and makes it nice and pretty. So with all ado, Tilly, please go ahead and take the stage.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Tilly.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, Tilly.
Welcome to Hops News. So, Tilly, tell us about your start in the beer. Was it Bud Ice?
Hopefully not.
I honestly can't even remember the first beer I drank, but I'm pretty sure. I think to this day my dad still drinks Miller Lite, so it was probably a Miller Lite.
I can relate.
Is what I'm gonna guess that it was.
Yeah,
we'll go with it.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to whatever's in the fridge. My first beer was actually my grandfather's beer. It was a PBR. I have pictures. I wasn't even 2 years old yet, so I got pictures.
He's fresh out the womb, pounding like PBRs.
Wrong bottle.
I'm sitting on his lap and got a can of PBR tipped up. Sitting on his lap on a tractor.
How can we get this child to sleep right now?
Yeah, so it's definitely an interesting start. It seems to be what's ever in the relative's refrigerator that you break into and start. So Tilly, tell us a little bit about what you do with Bottle Share.
So I met Chris about 6 months ago. And like you said, so I don't actually come from the craft beer industry. I come from the nonprofit world. And Chris and I met up over some beers, and he was talking to me about bottle share and everything that he was trying to do at this point. It had been around for about 6 months, so still in its infancy. And he had a lot of really great ideas about where he wanted to take bottle share and what he had on the agenda for his 5-year plan. And he kind of said to me, how can you help me make all of this stuff happen? So, we sat together and we put together a plan to execute some of the programs that we have now, to generate funds for the organization and, to distribute grant programs and things like that. So, it's kind of been a crazy 6 months because, we talked about all this stuff in December, and then 3-4 months later, COVID happened, and we kind of had to shift gears and switch things around. But it's been, fortunately, a really great experience for us, I guess you could say, because we have kind of been catapulted onto this national platform now, between our partnership with the Brewers Association and this grant program that we ran with them, Believe in Beer Fund, to support independent craft breweries. So it's been a pretty crazy 6 months, but I mean, I would say, and Chris would probably agree, that we are just on like a great trajectory. We've moved a lot faster than we thought we were going to, but it's been really great to kind of see the community rally together during this time.
Yeah, that's an awesome experience to be. I mean, that's what got us started in Hoppy Hour. I mean, we've all been involved in Hops News and some Instagrams and done some things with the website, but the COVID crisis presented an opportunity for us to kind of do something. Obviously, virtual happy hours were kind of a thing, and that's kind of what got us started in all of it. So my wife just sweetened the deals a little bit. So some of you know I've got a little bit of experience in the beer industry myself, and to go with the 4th of July theme, I've got a couple of stickers that we'll throw in. I'll put one in for the winner, and then for the winner of the bomber jacket, so make that donation to be entered. And I'll also pick a couple other people to slide one in an envelope and get it out there. That's Appalachian Mountain Brewery there in Boone.
Sweet.
You can see their little tagline, maybe there. Our roots run deep. That's kind of their
I
thing,
love that
right?
sticker.
Yeah, I've got
a pretty sweet sticker.
I've got a couple, so I'll make sure you guys get them as well. But definitely hit up that donation button, be entered for the cool bomber jacket, the COVID edition of my bomber jackets, and we'll also pick some others to get some stickers on the way. So
you should pick people based off of shares.
Oh, yeah, maybe we'll do that for stickers. Okay, there's 3 stickers there. Go ahead and share us to a group, or share us on your page, or share us somehow, and that'll be, we'll give one of those stickers away to somebody that does that at random as well. Great thought there, Mash. That's why we keep you employed here at
Listen,
I hope that
the closer, Mash.
my talents are good for something at least.
Mash is the closer. So Tilly, what was your first craft beer, Tilly? What got you started in the craft beer scene?
So it's kind of interesting. I didn't really have sorry, we got some fireworks going on here. I didn't really have a big start in the craft beer industry until I met Chris. But I lived in Prague for about 5 years. So that's kind of where I got interested in beer. So as Chris will tell you, I'm the Pilsner girl.
She's the Pilsner queen, dude. Don't stop it, girl.
I have a Pilsner I would have to send you then.
You've got a Pilsner. So the beer industry in Europe, I guess in Czech Republic, is really interesting because, I mean, obviously it's expanded now. I lived there about 10, 12 years ago, but, they're all about Pilsners, and you walk into a bar and they basically have 2 different degrees or 2 different, percentages of beer, and that's what you're getting. So that's kind of like where my start came as far as like kind of craft beer was concerned. And then once I started working with Chris, it was a major crash course in beer. So I got to try a little bit of everything. Pilsners are still my favorite, but yeah, I'll definitely experiment with some different stuff. We got some Berliners and I'll drink an IPA from time to time. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that would be we might need you to get to join us for an international episode one time and tell us about the beer scene there. That would be great. So we might be in touch.
I think we have a partnership growing here.
Yeah, we might have something going for sure.
I'm about it.
Yeah, and before we get,
I am all for it myself.
Before we get started into the Bottle Shares story and how they got started, let's talk a little bit about what we've done here at Hops News a little bit. So the money raised so far during our episodes, we broke $1,000, $1,012 last week per our episodes.
I was like, where are the people cheering coming from?
That is all over us, man. They're coming from all over. Local support, some of you may or may not know, we do a lot of local support, streaming support, whether it's the technical aspects of streaming and making sure that people can see other organizations or even equipment. We've got some more coming up, but we've done in excess of about $35,000 in that effort. For a grand total of $36,136. So,
wow.
I'll use Hoppy's statement that she says in the chat about every time we post that we're just getting started. Yes. Good numbers, impressive numbers, but we've only been going. I think Lucky nailed it down since April. Lucky, was that what it was last week?
I think it was the first week of April because we were in here, and that's when I signed this lease. When I started this lease, so.
I remember one of our first episodes was like Cinco de Mayo themed.
Yep.
Yeah, it definitely was. We've only been at this a couple months. It's only been a couple months now.
Yeah.
We're drinking as much as we can for the cause.
Yeah, we're putting away some beer.
Super impressive.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, Chris. We definitely appreciate it. And we're definitely putting away some beer, so you guys should donate a little bit more because I'm going to have to break one open here. So, Christopher, tell us a little bit what got you. I mean, what was the moment that you were like, this is Bottle Share. This is something that I need to do. And I know this was a life-changing moment for you, so kind of lead up to that, what led to that moment for you.
Certainly. Fantastic question, by the way. A severe brain injury is, it's not just traumatic. It is so incredibly life-altering. It will absolutely flip everything that you know true upside down and completely shred your sense of reality. I was walking different. I smelt things differently. I tasted things differently. Sight, colors, any sort of stimulus, everything was just completely different. And I remember just recognizing things that I had taken for granted for so many years. For example, I remember seeing a guy just walking. He was just walking down the street, man, but he just had this confident, personal, fingerprint style walk about him. And I thought, man, damn, for years, I could just walk with no problem. And here I am now tremoring so hard that I'm about to fall over, or I'm worried about having a seizure, or I'm so incredibly debilitatingly dizzy that I'm going to just fall right over, right? And so these things really kind of start to compile and grow. It's unfortunate, but you get caught in these moments of negativity and self-pity and depression and all of this negative stuff. And that's why, I'll get into it later if we touch up on it, but that's why mental health is so important to me. It's something that I'm going to be addressing in a grant program that we're going to implement into Bottle Share in the future so that we're going to call it the recovery grant, so that people that are suffering from mental health issues and or addiction, dependency issues, we will have a grant program set up for them so that we can help them out. And the reason that it's so important to me is because I lived my whole entire life not knowing what that was like. And then I got a crash course, trial by fire, thrown into the lion's den of mental health issues for 6 to 9 months. And it was, I applaud the people out there that can live the closest life to normal that they possibly can while suffering anxiety, depression, things like that. And so those are the true heroes out there. And for anybody that's out there listening right now, I applaud you. I appreciate you. I respect you. And you really are a hero, not just to me, but you should be to yourself as well. So I'll get off of that soapbox and get back to it. So I was laying in bed, honestly, one day after, just a horrible several months. When your brain's not firing off properly, sometimes you'll just cry for absolutely no reason. And
you do that when you're pregnant too, so I can relate. It's terrible and confusing. I got a taste of it. It is. It's terrifying. It is absolutely confusing. I mean, there had been moments where it was almost disassociative. I lost self-awareness. I wouldn't recognize myself. I wouldn't recognize where I was, who I was talking to, or I was just always constantly confused. So all of that had piled on, and I was laying in bed one day, and I said, all right, here's the deal. You have to make one of two options here, to choose from. You can either die before you're dead and live the rest of your life like this, in this dark cloud, self-pity, or you can build and live a second life while still in your first and design it exactly the way that you want to. And that's the path that I chose. And that's the one that I've stuck to. And that absolutely changed my life the day that I made that decision. And I'm so very thankful that I did, because the second I did, things started happening, right? You do the right thing will happen. Shortly thereafter, the owner of the brewery that I was working at when I was struck by the drunk driver, he called me and said, hey man, we're forming a partnership with Lyft, the rideshare company.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So he said, we're forming this partnership with Lyft. It's a Lyft initiative. And what it is when patrons or customers, guests visit the brewery, and they've had a little too much to drink, they can grab this little card that's got a code on it, and then they get discounted rides home. So that's a
good idea.
I mean, it's absolutely amazing, right? And so we filmed this shoot about the dangers of drinking and driving and the importance of this Lyft initiative video. And you have to go back and watch this video. It's on our Facebook page. It's on our YouTube page as well. It's literally called Lyft Initiative Video. It's like, this is where it all began. Leading up to the filming of that quick 4-minute video, I came up with every damn reason in the world not to do it. Even when Trey first called me and said, hey man, will you come and do this? I said, absolutely not. I was terrified. I was petrified to do anything. I was terrified to leave the house. I was terrified for people to speak to people, or people hear the way that I spoke, because I was so self-conscious about it. But I did it, right? Finally, it came down to it, and I said, you just got to do it. This is the way that you're living your life now. You have to continue to challenge yourself, and you grow in the most uncomfortable situations. And that's a part of my mantra. And the reason that's a part of my mantra is because, again, that's what the support team was there for. That's what my family was there for. That's what the craft beer community was there for. They all kept pushing me up and lifting me up, even in times when I wanted to fall. So I went out, I did it. We did the video, we released it, and it garnered something like 60,000 views. There was a ton of just absolutely incredibly positive. It was a huge positive reaction and response, and everybody was so caring and compassionate about the way that my body was moving, or I was tremoring hard, or I was having trouble speaking or remembering. And that was the very moment that I said, okay, there's something here that I now have a purpose in my life. I don't quite know yet exactly what it is, but I have hope. And that was the first time that I had that hope.
Your purpose is what you're doing right now, man. You're giving back. You're you're not only doing stuff in the beer community, but you're giving back to that world. So I'd say that's probably your purpose right there. You know, you're doing a lot of great things for not just your local community, but you know, you're reaching nationwide. So definitely, I would say that to me, that's your purpose right there, and you're doing amazing at it.
Yeah, and you guys seem to be teaming up with all sorts of people. I saw you did a Scofflaw team up. You were working with somebody with the hops. They're working on, what is it, farm to glass kind of thing?
Yeah, that was so cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday, a buddy of mine in the industry as well said, "Hey, I've got this friend. His hop field is ready for harvest. Would you like to come and join?" The property was about an hour away. I got there in 45 minutes. I was ready to go. But that was absolutely amazing, you know, being able to go out there and pick those hops and then hand deliver it to a brewery that's now going to use that, you know, those Centennial hops freshly picked right off the vines, grown here in Georgia. And then huge shout out to Scofflaw Brewing. I mean, I think they've donated over $200,000 back into the community since this COVID thing has happened. And they have.
I did see that. I see their videos. Yeah, wow.
Dude, it's insane.
And I love their name. And for anybody who's been watching the beer schools, that's prohibition related. People who weren't abiding by it were scofflaws or whatever. I'll have to do more research on that for the next.
There's somebody I'd love to have on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're a blast. Yeah, great group of guys. I would be more than happy to put you in touch with them. But they're doing so much for the community as well. You know, I keep saying, you know, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you're helping so many people," and that is amazing. Thank you so much, everybody, for saying that. But even bigger than that, there are so many people out there helping right now, and it's incredible. Yeah. And it's one thing that I think is we're transitioning into culturally as society. You know, we're moving away from a me culture and we're moving towards a we culture. And that's why we're thriving. That's why we're able to grant out as much as we have. Had it not been for COVID, I don't think that this shift would have occurred as quickly as it's happening right now. But I'm so proud to announce that on July 9th, which is our 1-year anniversary, we are almost at $100,000 in granted, grant checks.
Wow.
To people within our industry.
That's truly amazing. It's such a short amount of time to be that big.
There we go, the applause.
That's a big number, man. That's a huge number to be able to say that you're associated with giving away. That's amazing, man. That is truly an accomplishment that doesn't go unnoticed. We definitely appreciate that. And for that, let's make sure that we're raising some more money for Christopher tonight and Bottle Share. This is the bomber jacket, the special COVID-19 edition. To be entered, you got to drop some change in that bucket. We make it easy. You come to our Facebook page, you hit the donate button to set up for Bottle Share. Also, share us. Get a little sticker entered in the sticker drawing to share the link in the feed tonight to your page or wherever you may share it. I'm going to sweeten the deal somehow. I haven't decided yet, but we're going to sweeten this deal. There's going to be something more to come with that bomber jacket, and it's going to be worth it. I just haven't decided.
You know, and I can always
excited.
We're sweetening the deal. Hold on. Let's talk about it. Is Jay Brew removing his shirt? Hold on.
Mash. Hey, and he's just getting started. Wait until after he's had about 4 or 5 beers, and it's in the after hours. He's going to be up on that chair dancing before too long. As soon as he gets comfortable.
And tell you what, I can toss into that pot as well. Whoever the winner is that is selected will, be in touch and pick out an item up to $25 on through our swag shop on our merchandise store. Shit. And they'll get some Bottle Share swag as well.
Awesome. So there you have it. The deal keeps getting sweeter. I bet you I can probably get the
sweet swag.
Yeah, I bet you I can probably get the host on the other sides of these desks as well to throw in maybe a bottle or can of beer in your favor.
Hey, I'll throw in a can or two. Absolutely.
So there you have it. This is going to be the sweetest prize package that we've ever given away. And all you have to do is make a donation.
This is, yes.
All you have to do is make a donation, be of age, obviously, to receive the beer. And you're going to get a sweet package, and I'll put a beer in that koozie for you too. So there's four local craft beers.
Dude, come on.
The
swag.
Donate like 4 more times.
Be right back. I'm giving
Lucky's donating under his mom's name, his dog's name. He's like, I'm getting in this deal. So it's the COVID-19 bomber jacket special edition. We had Alexander on yesterday. He sent it to me overnight to make sure we'd have it tonight. You don't want to miss it. Drop some change in that, because great organizations like Bottle Share are definitely is what has helped these industry workers during these times like this. So get on that train. I don't care what it is. Just drop it in that bucket. I will tell you, every little bit counts. What most people don't realize about nonprofits are that they're able to take the dollar that you donate or the dollars that you donate and stretch it as far as they can, much further than the person that donates the money can do, because they develop relationships with other organizations like themselves and say, hey, we've got a family in need, and this is the need. Can you do it for this? Typically, it gets done much cheaper than what it would be if you and I went out to do it ourselves. So working with organizations like this, donating money to great causes like this is a start of something bigger. And obviously, Christopher has shown that in his first year at breaking $100,000. Those are what my dreams are made of for Hops News, because raising money is very important, especially with the beer culture and how big giving back to the community is. So, Christopher, tell us a little bit about how people that may be in need go through the process of reaching out to you to say, hey, I've got a need and is wondering if you can take care of it. What do those needs typically look like, and how do they go about applying or requesting some funds?
Yeah, certainly. So first off, the super easy. We've made it so easy for everybody. All you have to do is go to www.thebottleshare.org. Up at the top, you're gonna follow the link to submit a survey. If you qualify through the survey, then we respond back to you with the application. The application is on a need basis. So once you send the application back over to us, we check it out on the back end over here, and then you're already qualified once you get past the survey. We just got to figure out how much money you need and how much money are we going to send you. So once the application is back in, we determine how much we're going to send, and we write a check out, put it in the mail, and send it on its way. So it's very, very simple to apply for the grant. Yeah, it's like so easy. And then, so the second part is a great question as well, because obviously with COVID, we've had to pivot, and we've had to kind of manipulate our business model and how we were granting award checks out. So to begin with, what we were going to do is one check per quarter for $5,000 each, right? Because I thought $1,000 could really change somebody's life. You know, even if you're in the industry and you are working, a $5,000 grant would still change your life. I mean, in my opinion. And so I wanted to keep it at $5,000, but once COVID hit, so many more people needed that help, especially as soon as they started being fired and furloughed. So we opened it up for being fired and furloughed due to COVID as well. And so we had a massive influx of people applying for grants. And on top of that, after a while, once the partnership with the Brewers Association came to fruition, we transcended the workers and started granting directly to the brewery owners and the state guilds. And let's be honest, if we can't help these guys stay afloat, then there's not going to be any employees to help in the future. And so it's very important for us right now to be sending these checks out to the state guilds and the breweries that really, really need it. I mean, take a look at the Brewers Association, the top organization, the echelon of it all, and they've had to lay off a huge amount of people. And not just, you know, they didn't discriminate. You know, it's all the way up to the very top. People were getting let go, and so it's it's a grim reality right now, but I always tell everybody we're not here to mourn tragedy. We're here to celebrate life, damn it. Right?
Yes,
So
absolutely,
let's stick
man.
to that.
really
Hang it
sounds
up,
like
send a
you're
check out,
making
put a
most of
smile
it,
on
though.
somebody's face.
So Idaho's taken a step back, and a lot of breweries recently closing. So I'm going to do my part, and I'm going to help spread the word of Bottle Share throughout Idaho, and a lot of these guys, and make sure they can get in contact with you, get connected if it's something that they need. Because, man, you guys are absolutely killing it, and that's what we need right now. That positivity, that energy, that's what we need in the world right now.
Right, we got to keep the hype up while
Yeah.
things are tough.
Damn straight, and I tell you what, I'll with as much negativity going on right now, I'll take that positive burner. I swear to God, I am so freaking passionate and stoked to be alive because I have a second chance at it.
Absolutely.
Not
it gives you
everybody
that fresh perspective, man.
Hell yeah, absolutely. I'm thankful for every breath of air that fills my lungs. I'm so excited. I'm so stoked, and I'm absolutely in love with what I'm doing. I always tell people, if you fall in love with life, life will fall in love with you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like it. Yeah.
So we have Rick Sones. Rick Sones just commented there in the chat. Says, boom, $32. Wish I could do more. Hoping for the jacket and swag, my brother. You keep your drive, brother. Awesome.
Looks like he shared too.
Yeah.
He did.
Hey, listen,
He did
listen,
He's in
Rick.
it, baby.
He's in it
$32 is more than enough. We will take whatever it is that you can put in that
whatever.
bucket and help push Bottle Chair's cause. So we definitely appreciate you for that. And my fingers are crossed for you. So we appreciate that. Chris, we've already taken up way more of your time tonight than I anticipated taking.
Yeah, holy crap.
So what are we? How do people find you on social media? How can they get involved if they're not able to donate tonight? Where can they look to be able to donate to you in the future?
Absolutely. So we can be found on through the social media platforms on both Facebook and Instagram. It's at Bottle Share Official. On Twitter, it's at Bottle Share 1. And then, of course, you can always just visit us on our website, www.thebottleshare.org. Learn all about us, man. The website is fun. It's really interactive. We've got a ton of videos on there. I'm starting to produce a lot more content myself. I release the 2-minute Bottle Share update as frequently as I can. We just started a brand new segment called Shout Out Saturday, where I'm going to be highlighting the people,
I did
the
see it,
companies.
yes. I did watch that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I'm going to choose a different person or a different company or a different brewery or anybody that I admire or I've had the incredible opportunity to work with. I'm going to be shouting them out. So yeah, definitely check those out and just follow and spread the word, right? The more people that know about us equals more people that we can help. So as of right now, with us still being so young, it's so important for me. It's just as important for me to writing these grants and going out and fundraising and just giving it my all and doing everything that I can. Just as important as all of that is the awareness. We need to continue to spread awareness and let people know that we're here for them. I hate hearing about stuff of tough stories and tragedies striking people within the industry that have no idea who we are. And then, like I said last week, the worst kind of opportunity is a missed opportunity. For me, that's a missed opportunity where I could have helped either somebody or their entire family out in a time of need.
Yeah, that's a great mission that you have, and we appreciate your enthusiasm behind it. Hoppy has shared the links to both the Facebook page and the Instagram there in the chat. So go ahead and hit those up, like them, follow them, share them, do whatever you can. Spread the love for Bottle Share. Our brother Chris down there doing awesome things with the beer industry. Chris, we definitely appreciate your time tonight. We are going to keep track of you, and if we lose track of you or you have anything that you want to help spread the message, definitely let us know, because we'd love to have you back on again and share the awesome work that you're doing.
Yes.
Man, that's spectacular. Guys, I cannot thank you enough for just providing me with another platform to continue to spread the awareness and share the story. I owe you guys a ton. I can't wait to meet each and every one of you individually and live some life and share some stories all over a tasty beverage.
Yeah, that's.
You got a
I like
place
the
at my
taste
house.
beverage idea,
I
absolutely.
will always have a
Chris,
place
will
at
you
my
be in
house.
Milwaukee?
man.
Chris, will you be in Milwaukee
awesome.
for Mobcraft?
Yeah, man, I'll be up there. So I leave Atlanta on Thursday. I arrive Thursday night. Friday is my day to like go around and see stuff. And so I'm sure Dustin, who is our consultant up in the Midwest that landed us the deal with Mobcraft, that kind of put us together, he's going to take me out. We're going to go have some fun. And then Saturday, that's the day of the release party and kind of the celebration of our 1-year anniversary.
Awesome.
Lucky's
dude.
gonna be
I want to meet
there.
you out. I want to meet you out. I'm going to be there. Friday,
Bro, that's
depending
awesome.
on how late you guys are out, I would love to come meet you guys wherever you are, for sure. I'd love to buy you a beer for all the good stuff you're doing.
Dude, that is a two-way street. I would absolutely love that.
Awesome. I'll look forward to it, man.
Hey, we look forward to a live stream of you two drinking a beer and sharing a little bit about what
Hell
you guys
yeah.
are doing. So you
And
guys all.
anybody who doesn't win any swag tonight, Mobcraft has some pretty sweet swag on their website too.
They
so,
do.
and that
Yeah,
link is
for
in
sure.
the comments.
Yep. There you go.
Yep.
So, Chris, we definitely appreciate your time. And hey, like I said, getting the word out for great organizations, that's what Hops News started about. You can go back and listen to the first podcast we did, and that's exactly what we did, was talk about the great things going on in the beer industry.
Yes.
So anytime you need a channel to get that word out, don't hesitate to reach out to us, because we'll make time for you.
We are here, man.
Please. I want a
Bottle Share loves Hop News.
once a month.
I'll tell you straight up. I've already messaged you. I've already private messaged you. So just know I've already hit you up on the side. This is
Love sliding into those DMs.
Hey, you
sliding
got to
in
be
there.
careful with MASH. You got to be careful with MASH.
Come on now.
Don't just be warned, if you drink any beer with MASH, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised in the morning.
I invite all to slide into these DMs, man.
Yeah, well, I've done it, man. I am a talker. It is sometimes a fault of mine.
Yeah, that's
and,
awesome.
Many of these guys, I talk a little too much, so I've slid into them DMs, and I really appreciate what you're doing, man.
We have no.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so
We're
much.
not liable for MASH if you drink beer with him in person. So. Hey, Chris, we appreciate you, man. It's been great to get to know you, and it's been great to have you on, and definitely thank you for the time that you've given us.
Absolutely. So very thankful. Thank you
Yes.
guys very much. Y'all have a wonderful night.
Cheers.
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 Look forward to seeing you.
Man, what an amazing dude. This is
Hold on,
just.
is this for real? We have $207 raised tonight.
Yeah, that jumped real
Is that
quick.
For real?
That
Wow.
What happened?
I think
Wow.
somebody did a big donation.
Well,
Someone must have had some.
we have
What?
we've hit a milestone tonight. We have hit a milestone tonight. That is the most we have ever collected in one night. And I'll tell you, how could you not? After listening to Chris talk for
Dude,
even 5
I'm
minutes,
sitting here trying to
Well,
just not cry. Like the entire
His-
time he's talking. Like it's so awesome listening to him.
it's
I
inspiring.
honestly,
The-
I love him.
the amount of positivity this man has is truly incredible. It's insane.
Man,
It's so crazy.
$200. That's unbelievable. You guys are.
In
Yeah.
52 minutes currently.
Yeah, that's
Right, it went from like
crazy.
87 to 207 real quick.
yeah, that's
We'll
pretty
have to check
special.
and see what happens.
Let's go check in with Mash real quick. Mash, what are you drinking? And we're gonna, just so Hoppy knows, we're gonna end in Florida with Hoppy and get in beer school real quick so we don't miss out on that. Mash, what is it that you're tipping up out there in Mountain Home, Idaho? I will tell you what, Hops News reach is second to none. You can even go look at the big beer magazines, and they don't have people in Mountain Home, Idaho reporting.
Hey, they don't. And I we're finally getting our own brewery here, but I'm 45 minutes outside of Boise. If you've seen my Instagram, I am a huge proponent of Idaho beer. They are amazing, doing a lot of great stuff. And speaking of escalating quickly, just like our donations did, I'm going to escalate it. I'm going to go with the Naked Threesome right now. It's straight from
Keep
Lucky.
hearing about this.
Some
From Lucky himself. So I
some
am
reason
sipping
this
on-
beer selection does not surprise me.
Three things come in threes. This is my third beer. This is the Naked Threesome. Look, I'm all about it tonight. Like I said, it's 4th of July weekend. This has been an incredible episode. Thanks to Chris. Thanks to you guys. So just cheers to everybody out there. I am in the small town of Idaho, but you know what? We're doing big, big things.
Awesome. We appreciate you. Let's go check in with Lucky in Milwaukee. Lucky, what are you sipping on up there? And hey, just so the viewers know, we're going to run a little bit long-winded tonight. Just be prepared. We're trying to keep it down to an hour, but obviously having a great guest like Chris on, we could have left him on for another hour and a half or so. But we'll get the episode in. It'll be a little bit longer in an hour, and then we'll do the after hours party as soon as we finish up there. Lucky, what are you sipping on?
I've got a Space Wizard from Sideward. So it says it's from Florida. Is that from Hoppy?
Yes, that's actually their anniversary beer that they had to cancel their anniversary party and they released it early.
It is so good. I mean, as far as New England IPAs go, this is up there with some of the best that I've had. It's awesome. I love the can art. I love the label. Sideward Brewing, Space Wizard. Very good.
Awesome. That's going to leave us just enough time to check in with Hoppy down there in Florida. Hoppy, what are you sipping on?
I am sipping on a Seeds of Freedom from Rock Pit Brewing. It's a triple New England IPA. It has watermelon in it, and it actually smells like watermelon bubble gum, like maybe it was Bubble Yum back in the day. But then it's pretty damn good, though. It's got a hint of sweetness at the end, but it's a nice, smooth triple New England IPA, and it's 9.5%. So... Awesome. And I had to have a friend that's in the Mug Club actually get it for me because they don't release it till, I think, tomorrow or 4th of July.
That's a great beer for the occasion. So speaking of the occasion, let's learn a little bit of beer knowledge through Beer School.
Yes.
All right. Today's Beer School is patriotic. It's about America's founding fathers and beer.
Welcome to America.
Has heard the expression that Benjamin Franklin said, beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Benjamin Franklin didn't say that. He was actually talking about watering vineyards and wine. It had nothing to do with beer. But what he did say was, in wine there is wisdom, in beer there is freedom, and in water there is bacteria. Well, today is about beer and freedom. So I'm not done with all my Prohibition beer school, so don't worry. But we're going to take a break to talk about freedom. However, Anheuser-Busch actually did do a whole campaign in the early 1900s on anti-prohibition, and they used the founding fathers and talked about their love for barley malt brews. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about now. So I've told y'all before, the Colonials actually drank 3 times as much as the pre-quarantined American today. And while Americans were brewing beer back then, the English imports were still considered much better, and many people loved English porters. Many historians actually believe part of the push to get away from English imports in general was George Washington's disappointment with how many beer bottles were breaking en route to the States. So to be more self-sufficient and not rely on England so much, we needed better beer. Enter Mr. Hare's Porter in 1774. This was believed to be the first U.S. porter, and it was all the rage in Philadelphia. Robert Hare was the brewer. I love porters. And he actually got big overnight with this beer. John Adams wrote a letter to his wife solely telling her about how much he loved this beer. During the Revolutionary War, George Washington would actually have this beer sent to him wherever he was. He also made sure all his troops got daily rations of beer, but I don't think it was this beer. I think they got not so great beer. So for over 10 years, this beer was such a fan favorite that it got Mr. Hare rich, and he quit brewing and went into politics. Unfortunately, in 1790, a fire caused the recipe to be lost forever. Many have tried to recreate this, even George Washington himself, because it was apparently so amazing. So George Washington brewed much more than this version of Mr. Hare's Porter. In fact, if you go to the New York Public Library after you quarantine for 2 weeks, you can actually find a small beer recipe that is handwritten by George Washington. Small beer just means low ABV, and it was generally what they gave to servants because apparently only drunk or rich people were allowed to get drunk back then.
Obviously.
So, yeah, I mean, the poor servants had to stay sober enough to carry them home, I guess. So this recipe was actually found in George Washington's military journal from the French and Indian War in 1757. Anheuser-Busch even tried to recreate the recipe. It's loosely based on his recipe. It's called Budweiser Freedom Reserve Red Lager. And I say loosely because it wasn't like, you can go to Pinterest and find a dummy-proof recipe. No, this was like that stained index card your mom pulls out every Christmas with like barely any measurements that you're, in your grandmother's handwriting kind of recipe. But, they actually donate all the proceeds to like military families. They give them scholarships and stuff. So they do good stuff. So good for them. So small beer importers were not all George Washington brewed with either. And here Mash is going to get real excited. George Washington was possibly the very first basic bitch.
Oh my God! You're telling me and old George W. have something in common.
Oh yes, it is believed he brewed pumpkin beer. Now, before we add Uggs and a scarf to the dollar bill, I need to explain that this beer did not taste like Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. Okay? So there was a George Washington recipe that included gourds. And pumpkins were the easiest gourd to kind of grow, and it was thrown into all sorts of recipes. So it's believed that pumpkin was the gourd that was used. So what happened in 1985, somebody saw this recipe, a brewer, and he's like, oh, I'm going to recreate this pumpkin beer. And so he made it. And well, the meat and the pumpkin fermented like your regular kind of brew grain, and the result was normal tasting beer. So what did this guy do? Well, he added a bunch of pumpkin spice to the beer, and voila, pumpkin beers were born. And if you want to have this beer, this brewery is actually still open. It's in Hayward, California. It's called Buffalo Bill's Brewery, and the beer is like called the original pumpkin beer or something, which is kind of a lie because the original one was actually George Washington's.
Oh my God. Guys, I'm making a pilgrimage.
Anyways, so George Washington was not the only founding father who was believed to have brewed. Thomas Jefferson actually gave it a try later in his life. But before Thomas Jefferson tried to brew, it's actually believed that he wrote the first draft of the Declaration of Independence over a cold draft beer at a tavern in Philly. So it was not uncommon to find the founding fathers at taverns. This was actually where they got all their gossip. So Benjamin Franklin said taverns were a tool of diplomacy. It's where a lot of negotiations actually went on with politicians and the founding fathers. So Samuel Adams spent so much time at taverns that he was nicknamed Samuel the Publican. He was even known for throwing epic parties, so you can kind of understand why Jim Koch named his brewery Sam Adams. Now, just about all the founding fathers seemed to be lushes back in the day. In fact, the day they finished writing the Constitution, the bar bill they ran up is like ridiculous, and you can find it all over the place. It was all a little off. Like one thing said like 8 bottles of port, and the other thing said 8 bottles of porter. But I mean, they had like hunch punch and wine and beer and everything. But George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Samuel Adams, and Thomas Jefferson all seem to have a little bit of that extra love for beer. So on that note, I leave you with a quote from Thomas Jefferson. Beer, if drunk in moderation, softens the temper, cheers the spirit, and promotes health. God bless America.
Look,
God
bless America.
Oh
and
goodness.
number 2, I'm going to leave you with a quote. Pumpkin spice and everything nice.
Jesus.
I have that on a coffee mug.
Mash is so basic. It ain't even funny.
Dude is the
man.
most basic person.
Hey, that is
was
some
my favorite
amazing
episode of
knowledge.
Beer School ever.
I will tell you guys.
So is George Washington.
George Washington, my man, George W. started pumpkin spice. Oh my gosh.
So I will tell you, I often tell brotherly love, if everybody would just shut the fuck up, hug, and drink a beer, shit would be a lot better around here.
It would. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, and it goes to show you, those guys were getting hammered.
Everything would be better.
Look.
Yeah, they were getting hammered off of great beer when they were like, man, this is what we need to do together. That's pretty amazing. I really enjoy Hoppy's news because
that was the best one yet.
It is literally beer school.
That's the best one yet for sure.
Listen.
I mean, they've all been good, but
Listen.
I love that.
Hey, Brad's got a great idea. Brad's got a great idea. It's going to be Mash the Basic.
Listen, for the month of October, my background is going to be pumpkins.
Scarf.
Yeah, with a scarf.
I can't wait.
Don't
My
forget your
background
scarf.
Oh my gosh.
Scarf and Uggs on the back.
I'm gonna have to give Mash my white girl card for October, I guess.
If when Shipyard is on, if I have their Pumpkinhead or whatever episode I have their Pumpkinhead on, I'm showing up in a scarf and I'm showing up in a North Face and I'm repping it hardcore.
That's awesome. So let's go to Mash real quick because we've got some beer or some hops news. Mash, what's the news out there in Mountain Home, Idaho tonight?
Well, the news is George W. started pumpkin beer, but I guess I'll settle for something else a little less. I don't know if everybody's heard. It's obviously 4th of July weekend. Everybody's barbecuing. We're buying beers. We're feeling good. Well, if you're going out tomorrow and you're buying beer, tomorrow, July 3rd, is Buy Local Beer Friday. That means support your local breweries. Yes, we can all go out and get Bud Light. We can all get Miller Lite. But especially during these times, Bud Ice even. Hell yeah, Bud Ice. You know, who am I to judge? If you want that, all the power to you. But if you are going out tomorrow to buy beer, I implore you, no matter the state, no matter where you are, it is Buy Local Friday, and that's going to go straight to your local breweries, which, you know what, having a little too many local breweries could be a good problem to have, and we don't want to see any of them close, especially during these hard times where some of these states are starting to roll back. So if you're out and about tomorrow, pop into your local brewery. Buy a can, buy a growler, whatever. Anything helps. Let's keep these guys open, and let's have a great, safe weekend.
Awesome. So next episode, July 9th, we have Dave with Running with Beer. July 14th is Beers Giving. July 26th, the president of Baxter Brewing in Maine. It's going to be a great episode there as well. And July 23rd, man, this is a big one that Mash the Closer landed for us. July 23rd is Kenny Gould, the founder of Hop Culture Magazine. It is that's a pretty big publication, so that is going to be an interesting episode. That is one that if you're just catching us for the first time, put that on your calendar because that should be good. And then we end up with founder of Tripping Animals on July 30th. That's going to be a favorite of Hoppy for sure.
I got the beer yesterday to send to all you guys, and I bought more today.
Awesome. Ooh, yeah. Awesome. August 6th is going to be Well-Being Brewing, and August 13th, Shipyard Brewing, where Mash will have on Uggs, a scarf, and decorated in pumpkins. Guaranteed.
I can't drink pumpkin beer August 13th.
He will.
I'll drink pumpkin beer all year long.
It's just wrong.
Safe.
So let's go.
Wait till the first day of fall.
Speaking of checking in, Lucky, how do people find you?
You can find me on luckman.nick on Instagram. Otherwise, I have been in the comments all night. Add me on Facebook. Slide into my DMs. We can chat beer. We can do a beer exchange as long as you're a member of the Patreon. Also, look for me. There might be something coming out of Wisconsin real soon. Don't want to tease it too much, but I'll be recording something sometime soon. Probably tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, but definitely tomorrow.
So Lucky, for all the lucky ladies out there, what's the Tinder handle?
Tinder handle is...
it better be a picture of him and his dog.
Yeah.
It's just a picture of my dog. That's all you have to put on there.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, just add me on here for now. I'll find you on Tinder. That's what I always say.
Lucky will find you on Tinder when he's ready. Mash, where can people find you?
Oh, man. I am on Instagram. I am on Twitter at Matthew Tyler. I am on Untapped at Mash Hops because I got Mad Hops. And, you know, if you want to add me on Facebook, add me on Facebook. As you can tell, I love to talk. The more I drink, the more I talk. I don't even have to drink to talk. Let's have some great conversation. Share us, subscribe, like, whatever. Let's get the word out there. We're doing a lot of great things. As you can see, some of our guests, like Chris, they're doing a lot of great things in the beer community, and we really want to keep it moving. So find us, and then, you know, potentially Hoppy and I are doing our own thing. We're doing a lot of mini things going on. So if you like nerd culture, you like comics, you like beer, we are going to be doing a little comic book beer action here soon. So stay tuned for more on that.
Awesome. Hoppy, how can people find you?
Real easy. The Hoppy Mommy, one word, Untapped and Instagram. That's where you'll find me. And I'm looking forward to doing we should try to do that tomorrow. I have no children tomorrow. But yeah, we're going to keep it fun. We're going to keep it light, quick.
Must be nice.
It's going to be
light and
geeky
quick,
and
my
full of beer.
specialty.
Yeah.
Ew.
I like it.
Like a butterfly.
I like it. So obviously you can follow Hops News on about every platform there is, and it's pretty easy. At Hops News, and you'll find us. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is a big one, folks. We are begging you, please create a YouTube account, follow us, subscribe to us, create one for your grandmother, your grandfather, maybe kids you don't even have yet. Just create some YouTube accounts and subscribe to us.
Baby.
Yeah. That will do. We definitely need to get over that 100 subscriber level. And it's not so we can make money, because you got to get to 1,000 before you can even monetize your YouTube
Don't even
channel.
care about that.
Yeah, we just want to be able to use Hops News as our custom URL. So if you don't mind, create some Google accounts and go subscribe to us. I mean,
Maybe we'll
subscribe
do a
to your...
little special something for our hundreds of, once we get there. Who knows?
There you go. We'll send everybody free beer. I'm kidding.
What?
I'm kidding.
Unless. Lucky,
So-
subscribe your dog as the Hoppy Doggy. Just
Yeah.
I will send the 100th subscriber a bottle of Pliny.
Oh, there you... Hey, we've got to get a post out about
I'm
that.
about to go make
Hey, somebody's got to create a post tomorrow about
I'm
that.
going to drink it.
Yep, somebody's got to create a post about that tomorrow, because that could get us over the 100 hump tomorrow, especially if we get any traction with shares. All right, check it out.
Yes.
The Hops News family is what was formerly known as the Patreon, right? We've changed that up a little bit. You still have to go to the Patreon page to join. There are only 4 spots left for the Sip of Sunshine level. That gets you a lot of good stuff. And I don't remember all of it at this point, but it's a lot of good stuff. But I will tell you, even the lowest level that's only $5 a month gets you in the Hops News family group that has some outstanding beer exchange. If you didn't listen to last Tuesday's episode with Brad, go listen to Tuesday's episode with Brad.
Yes.
He's a Hops News family member. He will tell you about the good things that go on in the beer exchange, and we talk about a lot of things that we have in the works, including a few collaboration beers. Yes, Hops News beer. That is going to be awesome. And if you want to get in on that, you have to be a part of the family. So that'll be worth of itself. Bomber Jacket giveaway. This is the last chance. It'll be open. I will draw a random number after we get done with After Hour in about an hour. So you still have a chance. Donate. Be entered for the COVID-19 edition of Bomber Jacket. This is, It's legit. It's got the tag. That is a Bomber Jacket. Also, a few stickers will be thrown in there, and we'll take a few random drawings for stickers only after the Bomber Jacket giveaway. So go enter, get in on that. We've got beer coming from all 4 of us on that giveaway, as well as $25 gift card for Bottle Shares store that they have set up. So
what a guy.
They got some nice stuff too.
yeah, this is a huge prize pack. And if you have any change at all to give in that tip bucket for Bottle Share, it will be well worth it if you're drawn from that random winner. Appreciate you joining us. It's been a great episode. I apologize for going a little long-winded, but Chris was an amazing guest. For those of you that are watching in the Hops News family,
we will see you Tuesday.
Nope, we will see you tonight in the After Hour.
Join the Patreon. Get in there. See
we
you
will.
in a few minutes.
We will post that link soon. And our next episode, Tuesday night, 8 p.m., same channel. We will be here. Appreciate you joining us. Cheers.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers. Love you guys.
Wait, cheers.